Why, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Orange Juice Optional. I'm Michelle, and as always, I'm here with my good friend, Suzanne. Hey, Suzanne, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing wonderful because today we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day, the holiday of love.
Yay!
I think that was fake joy there, Suzanne.
Yeah.
So is the idea of it not sparking any joy in your heart right now whatsoever?
No, not really. It's just, in my book, it's just another day.
You're kind of like Rob. Rob refers to Valentine's Day as that commercial holiday, the one that card company. Yeah. So I like Valentine's Day, though. I like to think there's a day to celebrate love and your spouse or your significant other or the hopes for that. There's also, you know, some people love it so much they even do a Galentine Day, which is celebrating all your girlfriends.
Okay,
and like
then.
Doing a big dinner or something. Have you ever done that?
No, I have not. It's a great idea. I love the idea, but I have not.
Yeah, no, I love both ideas. So if I were to say to you, what do you have planned for Valentine's Day, Suzanne? Do you have anything?
No. Nothing at all. How about you? What are your plans?
Well, they're very exciting, but not really, because Rob is heading back to Anchorage on Valentine's Day. Like, he hates the holiday so much. He's like, I'll just use it as a fly day and I'll go back to Anchorage. So
that's funny.
Yeah, I'll be driving him to the airport and dropping him off there and then just hanging out.
Yeah, and I actually will be on my way back from Seattle because my little grandson's birthday is on the 11th and I want to be with him. And I don't want to fly on the 12th or the 13th because it's Super Bowl Sunday in Scottsdale, Arizona.
I honestly cannot believe that Logan is going to be 3.
He is, and he's still the love of my life, although I have Audrey now to compete with him. But
right, well, maybe you should spend Valentine's with them.
I might just do that. Because
or maybe,
Jeff
go ahead.
Jeff has to be gone on Valentine's Day as well. So I will be either on an airplane flying home on Valentine's Day or I'll spend it with my grandchildren.
Well, here's an idea. Maybe your flight leaving Seattle and Rob's flight coming into Seattle will overlap and you guys can have a drink in the airport together and commiserate on how much you don't like Valentine's Day.
I love that idea. That's the best idea yet.
Hey, I'm full of them.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I bet Rob would like that idea too.
He really would.
I may need to coordinate.
He really would. I'll send you his flight plans after this. That's so funny.
Oh, yeah. That sparks joy in me.
Yeah. No, just that chance meeting, but not really chance orchestrated. But yeah, he would like that. That would bring a smile to his day too. And it would probably be his favorite Valentine's Day ever.
Mine too.
He dislikes Valentine's Day so much, or is not a fan of it so much, that one year we were going on a cruise and we left on February 13th, the US, and we arrived there on the 15th. So he didn't even have to celebrate it that year.
Yeah, I think I was on that same trip. I don't remember which trip it was, but I remember missing Valentine's Day altogether because of the time changes. We missed it.
Yeah. He's like, I could celebrate it like that every single year. So, yeah.
So we must have a Valentine's. Do we have a Valentine's themed episode this week?
There's a little Valentine's Day in there, I would have to say. So we'll just leave it at that. And I'm going to share just one quick story about a Valentine's Day experience I had, and then we'll move into our next segment.
Okay.
So when Rob and I were first together, I'm still sentimental, but I was very sentimental and I believed in the words on a card. So I went to Hallmark and I spent hours picking out a card, and it had to be funny but come with a message. So it took me quite a while. So got it, wrote a nice message in it, had it sitting for him on Valentine's Day. He opened it. He's like, oh, okay, set it down. I left the room and I came back and I said, well, where's that card so I can put it on the fireplace mantle? He threw it away. And I might have shared that story in a past episode, but it's still like obviously bugging me.
Right. And I do remember you telling me that story, whether it was on a previous episode or not. So, and I just have one question. So do you save all of your cards or do you throw them away?
I used to save all of them. And now I was like crushed in that moment and I don't save them all anymore. There are a couple that I save.
Yeah. I was going to say,
a few people.
I only save my favorites.
Yeah.
And the rest I hang on to for a couple weeks and then I toss them.
And what would you consider a good card? Like something funny, something sentimental, maybe a little of both?
A little of both, but mainly funny. Something that just makes me laugh, but says so true.
Yep. I'm going to have to be on the lookout for that card. And then it'll be my goal to have you keep my card longer than just pulling it out of the envelope and tossing it away.
And then jumping ahead, just to give you a little heads up, I have 2 quotes to end our episode today. And one of them came from a greeting card. And so when we get to that point, I will share that with you.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I guess with this opening segment completed, we'll go ahead and move on to what's coming next.
Great.
Okay, and we're back with, I think this is going to be a fun segment. You might punch me afterwards, but we are going to do a Valentine's Day edition of Would You Rather? And as many people know, would you rather do choice A or choice B? And sometimes they're pretty like, I could go either way, but sometimes there are 2 options you're not going to like. So in that case, Suzanne will probably add a third. I'm already anticipating that, or she's going to argue with the questions. So I have some would you rather on my end. Do you have some there too?
No, I don't, because I wasn't sure what direction it was going. So we'll just use your list and we'll both answer.
Well, the first would you rather question is, would you rather celebrate Valentine's Day or just pretend it isn't happening? Which we already kind of answered.
Yeah, I've kind of already answered that. I just pretend it's not happening. What about you?
I would like to celebrate, but to keep my expectations in line, I just say, it's not happening. It's not a big deal. They show me, or he shows me he loves me every day of the year. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Manage expectations is what I call that. Okay. Next question. Would you rather dine in or dine out on Valentine's Day?
Oh, 100% dine in.
I'm right there with you. I would prefer to dine in on Valentine's Day also.
I would prefer to dine in any day of the week, any day of the year. I would choose to dine in rather than dine out.
Really? I just love going to restaurants. I love eating out.
Well, I like eating out when I'm with friends where there's enjoyable conversation, but it's when it's just Jeff and I, not that we don't have enjoyable conversations, but I think it's a lot of sitting and waiting where I feel like if I'm home, I can be doing something else. It's more efficient to eat at home.
Well, I can see that. And if you don't really have a lot to talk about or like you're kind of fighting with each other, going to a restaurant can be torture. You know, you pull out your phone, you're on that, you're looking around, you're like, everybody's having such a great time, but not me. So yeah, like if it's a bad day, I always like to eat at home. Not that anyone asked, I'm just sharing.
Yeah. But 100% any day of the year, I would rather eat at home.
Okay. Would you rather receive flowers or a box of chocolates? And I'm going to make this even a little bit harder for you, Suzanne, or a nice bottle of champagne on Thanksgiving, on Valentine's Day. So
Yeah,
flowers, chocolate, or champagne?
it's a tough one. Tough. Okay, well, I think I would pick the flowers, and I have to explain why. I love getting flowers unless they're ugly flowers. If they're ugly flowers, then I'm disappointed. Chocolate, I'd want to eat the whole box, and I there's nothing better for me than a big box of chocolates. But then I either make myself sick or I feel guilty because I ate the whole box. So, and then champagne, I'd rather pick my own. So I'm going to go with flowers.
Fair enough. And how would you distinguish like an ugly bouquet of flowers compared to a nice bouquet of flowers? I mean, color, like
colors and types of flowers. And if you know me well enough to send me flowers, you should know what kind of flower to send me.
Or I know you pretty well, but could you remind me just so I don't fall into the ugly bouquet category?
Well, and it's not so much about the ugly bouquet either. If you have a good florist you trust, you're going to get decent flowers. But I hate flowers or arrangements that have carnations in them, for example, because carnations, I just don't like carnations at all. And florists rarely use carnations anymore, I think. And I don't like baby's breath. So if you put baby's breath in a bouquet, that's a problem. And so whenever I order flowers that I like, not what the person I'm sending them to. And I will say no carnations, no baby's breath.
Okay. I'm going to have to make a note of that.
Yeah. And I usually have a color scheme when I'm ordering. I will say, how about purple and yellow flowers? Or how about an all white bouquet? I usually guide my florist to what I'm looking for. Okay, so now you have to answer the question. Of the three, what do you like?
Okay, of the three, I do find a lot of beauty in flowers. And so I do really appreciate a nice bouquet of flowers. However, they die and that makes me sad. So I'll probably pass on the flowers. Okay. Box of chocolates. I'm very picky in my combination of flavors. So if there was any other flavor in there, I probably would pick and choose and not even eat them. Like if it was chocolate and orange or chocolate and hazelnut or something like that. So they probably go to waste. They probably wouldn't all be consumed.
Okay, so stop. I have to interrupt because I find that a plus about a box of chocolates because I always think it's a bonus if you get a chocolate you don't like because then you don't have to count the calories of that chocolate. So if you cut it open and it's lemon and chocolate, which I hate, it's like it gets thrown away and it's like, yay, didn't have to eat that one.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to look at it. Anywhere to cut calories is a favorite in my book. But I will say somebody I truly love in my life, and I won't say her name, but she'll know who she is because she's listening to the podcast. She would get a box of chocolates and squeeze each one to see what was in the middle and then give the other one to her spouse, like the one she didn't like. And I'm like,
that's funny.
Okay, I got you there. So I probably pass on chocolates. And because I'm a person who generally, for sweets, just likes a bite at the end of the day. Like it would take me, if it was a count of 24, it would take me 24 days to eat them.
Okay.
Unless I really like them. Okay. And a bottle of champagne, absolutely. That would be my choice. Hands down, a nice bottle of champagne.
Good to know.
Yeah. So, okay. Here's the next question. And I think I already know your answer on this one. Would you rather your husband shop for you or let you shop for yourself and pick something out on Valentine's Day? I can add in a third option too. He could make a handmade gift.
Oh, for the love of God, no. Okay, so you know that I'm opposed to gift cards.
Yes.
So having me go shop for myself is like, you might as well give me a gift card, and I don't like gift cards. However, I do know picking a gift for me is very stressful for my husband.
Yes, it is. It's stressful for all of us.
So I don't want him to do, flowers are good enough. I don't want a gift at all.
Okay. And I like that answer because receiving a gift always makes me uncomfortable. So I could go with not a gift at all and be completely happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's go with that one.
Okay. So I only have 2 more and then we can move on to the next segment. Would you rather your husband serve you breakfast in bed or be out of town, or he be out of town on Valentine's Day? Let me re-say this one more time. Would you rather your husband serve you breakfast in bed, or would you rather he is out of town on Valentine's Day?
Oh my goodness. And I love, love, love my husband dearly, but I prefer him to be out of town on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And it just so happens my husband will be leaving town on that day. It wasn't planned. I'm not sure about the breakfast in bed. He did that once for me on Mother's Day. And Suzanne, it was the sweetest thing.
Oh.
But the mimosa he made me had ice cubes in it, which freaked me out. You wouldn't think ice cubes in a mimosa would freak you out, but it did. And I'm like, I can't drink this. And I felt so bad. I think I did drink it and then tell him afterwards.
Okay, well, and therein lies the problem with breakfast in bed. When they go to so much effort, and I know myself, I am picky. I'm picky about what I eat for breakfast. I'm picky about my mimosa. I'm picky about how I drink my coffee. It's like he's going to go to that effort and I probably will criticize it. I mean, and I feel bad about that. So it's better if he's just out of town, because then I'm not worried about hurting his feelings. He's not going to that big effort and we're both happy. So I stand by my choice.
Okay. Now the last question. I'm sure you knew it was coming, or maybe you didn't, but I think it's hilarious.
Okay.
Would you rather get a hug from your spouse on Valentine's Day or a pinch in the butt?
Oh my God. I hate that question.
As you all know, Suzanne is not a hugger at all.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you the story that I know I've told before. That one time, this was probably 10 years ago, my husband knows I'm not a hugger, but I was having a weak moment, dropping him at the airport. I got out of the car. I gave him a hug goodbye, and he pinched my butt. And I was mad.
Did you punch him?
Yeah. Well, it's like, what are you doing? Here I'm stepping out on a limb in a weak moment, giving you a hug goodbye, and you decide it's appropriate to pinch my butt. It's like, no, absolutely not. Not appropriate. You're never getting a hug from me again.
But that's not an answer. That's a great story. And I was hoping you were going to say it. Like it was strategy kind of to get you to share that story. But like,
I'm not
if you had to choose one.
I'm not choosing one because I hate them both. Why should I choose one if I don't like either one of them? I shouldn't be forced. I shouldn't be forced to pick one or the other. So I'm not answering. What's your answer?
Okay, I just want to highlight the fact that I did say at the beginning of this, you're going to fight about something, one of these questions. So here you go. Here you have it.
You give me that question, and of course I'm going to argue with it. I'm not answering.
Okay, and I would accept either one of them, but probably a hug. I mean, we'll just say that, but either one of them wouldn't bother me, like a pinch in the butt and a wink. That would be good. I don't know. Okay, and before I just keep chattering on with that, we'll just move to segment number 2.
Okay, sounds like a good time to let that segment go.
Yeah, because I'm not going to get an answer out of you.
No, you're not.
Okay, well, here we go. Okay, so in this segment, Suzanne, I am going to bring up a topic that I have not talked to you about before. You have no idea.
Ever?
Well, maybe in the past at some point, but I haven't talked to you about it in the recent past. It's not a conversation we've had. So I don't know what well, I can probably guess what your answer is going to be, but I don't know 100% for sure. And so here we go.
All right.
The thing I would like to talk to you about today is non-alcoholic wine or champagne or alcohol. A drink that you really enjoy that has had the alcohol removed, because as you do know this part, January has been a mindful month for me because we had such a busy fall that I kind of let my eating and my drinking, my consumption altogether, just I didn't pay attention to it. I still exercise, but I didn't pay attention. So this is kind of my month to regroup, get back on track, and get to where I feel comfortable. So I started this program about 3 weeks ago, and I would allow myself 1 drink a night. But I'm doing Weight Watchers, so I get points. And I was finding I was still hungry at night because I was saving 7 points of my day, and I only get 23 for that glass of champagne.
Okay.
So on Facebook, they were running an ad for a non-alcoholic champagne. It's called Shirley.
Okay.
So I ordered it. And it came in. And I swear to you, it took me 3 days to get over the fact that I was going to drink this drink and it had no alcohol in it. Like, it seriously was a mind block for me those first 3 days. And then I'm like, you know what? I like the taste of champagne. I'm going to give this a shot. And you know what? I really like it. I haven't missed the alcohol portion of champagne.
Wow.
So my question to you is, do you like the taste of your alcoholic beverage enough to drink a non-alcoholic version of it?
Okay, ask that question again.
Okay. Do you like the taste of your alcoholic beverage, so like a Chardonnay,
right,
enough to drink a non-alcoholic version of it? So Chardonnay with the alcohol removed.
Great question. I don't know the answer to that because I've never had a non-alcoholic Chardonnay. I do, however, say I can pick a mixed drink that I can take the alcohol out of, and I still love it. So we'll go with that because I'm not sure there can be a non-alcoholic version of Chardonnay that I'm going to like. But I say that very unfairly because I've never tried it.
Yeah, and I have never tried a champagne without alcohol until I saw this. And of course, everyone's saying to me, oh, it's sparkling cider you're going to have. It's just like sparkling juice. And I said, well, it is what it is, but I really like the taste of champagne. I don't like it for like the social aspect of it because I'll have a glass of champagne by myself at home. So it really has been an experiment to me to see if I could substitute.
Right. So how many points on Weight Watchers does it save you?
6.
So it's only 1 point. So it's sugar-free.
It's pretty close to it. Yes. For a can of it, it's 8 ounces. It's 1 point on Weight Watchers.
Wow.
And it's for an 8-ounce pour of regular champagne, it's 7.
Wow.
Yeah. So I get dessert. I get that piece of chocolate too. I get to have my champagne and have my chocolate too.
Well, that is great.
And it's still sparking joy. So that was my second question is, do you think if you remove the alcohol from your favorite beverage, it would still spark that joy for you or that feeling of looking forward to it so much? Because I really do look forward to that glass of champagne at night.
Right. Well, so I have to switch gears because I'm not going to compare it to my Chardonnay. But let's say vodka tonic. I love vodka tonics. And that would be my go-to drink if I didn't have Chardonnay. I would order vodka tonic. And I am very happy to just drink the tonic and leave the vodka out. And so I would say, yes, it can spark joy in me. And yes, I really enjoy tonic without the vodka.
Okay, fair enough. I have been dying to talk to you about this, but I wanted to wait and just get that genuine, you didn't know what you were going to get reaction, which I feel I do. So it's just the love of the taste of the drink, because I know that you won't waste calories on something you don't like.
Right. And and I guess that's my point with the Chardonnay. And like I said, I haven't given that a fair try, but I don't like cheap Chardonnay. And one of our regular periodic segments will be Life's Too Short. And one of those things would be life's too short to drink cheap wine, because if you don't like the taste of it, why even bother? And so I drink really nice wine and I really enjoy it. And I don't drink a lot of it. I limit myself to 2 glasses a day, which would be 14 points on Weight Watchers, which is a little depressing, but to me, it's worth it to have my Chardonnay in the evening.
And I always feel like that too. For me, even if I didn't find this non-alcoholic version, to have that to look forward at the end of the day.
Right.
I could be a little bit hungrier. I could eat more vegetables or fruit or something to fill that space. So
there you go.
My champagne at the end of the day sparks joy. But I will say I'm good 6 days of the week. But on Friday, that is my blow day. That is my cheat day. So I will have, or right now, I am having a real alcoholic beverage on Fridays. So
well,
Friday fun, yay for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and I want to go back to that where it took you 3 days to convince yourself that you should try it because you were the mental block. Because I was just talking to another friend of mine about this. It's like I have a real problem with deprivation. And it's the whole mental aspect. I feel like if I am depriving myself of something, or I'm cheating myself out of, life's too short to deprive yourself of something you love. And it's great that you found a substitute for it so you don't feel that deprivation. But for me, it's all about, and it's all mental, I know, but I don't want to deprive myself of something.
And that is such a great point that you made right there. And I know there's a ton of diets that you can do out there. The reason I choose Weight Watchers and the reason it works for me, and this isn't a paid promotional ad or something, this is just me living my life, is because it allows me to make choices and I don't feel deprived. So the power is all in my hands. I get to make the choice of what I want and how I want to spend those points, and nothing is off limits. It's just, you have to make a choice, and I can live with making a choice.
Which is great.
It is very great. So on we go.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so before we close out this episode, I do have one other thing I'd like to talk to you about, Suzanne.
Okay.
And I haven't given you any forewarning because I wanted to get your genuine reaction. So have you paid any attention to some of these new shows coming out on TV?
No.
Okay, so you haven't seen that Paramount or Paramount? Is it Paramount or Paramount?
I don't know. Paramount. I would say Paramount, but
okay. We'll just go with that. They are releasing a new show that I just saw an ad on television for.
Okay.
It is called The Rise of the Pink Ladies. Like from Grease, the show Grease. It's their story.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you'd be like, what? There's going to be this Grease sequel or something, this Grease prequel? I'm getting none of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to lie. TV's not my thing right now. I mean, I have shows that I like to watch. I love it when a new season, but I'm not looking for anything new. The only time I'm looking for something new to watch is when I have to fly. And yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV these days, so it doesn't interest me.
But it's Grease.
I know. I love Grease.
Danny Zuko and Rizzo and Frenchie and Sandy. Really?
Although the beauty of Grease and the magic of Grease are the actors and actresses that played the characters in the original movie. I think if you gave me a remake of Grease, I don't think I would be that excited about it.
Well, you were on the ship the time they
that's
did
true.
that production.
That's
you were like
true.
stalking the Dan.
That's true. That's true. On stage. Yeah. Okay, I take that back. It's great music. So it's the music of Grease that I really love.
And did you ever watch Grease 2?
No.
The sequel to it?
I did not.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it. Like,
oh.
I sometimes still even sing the songs from that one. That's how much I liked it. Okay. And the only other TV show I want to ask you if you've heard about, because my husband is obsessed with the name of it. It is called MILF Manor.
MILF Manor. Never heard of it.
Do you know what a MILF is?
No, I have no idea.
It's Mom, I'd like to bleep. Like I'd say the word, but it's going to get bleeped anyway. So Mom, I'd like to. So like, you know what I'm talking about now. Like Stifler's mom in the band camp movie. Okay. So it's about that, where you put a bunch of MILFs in this house. And I don't know anything more about it, but my husband, he's like, do you want to watch that show? I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that show. And then he'd be like, but I watch Real Housewives. And I'm like, you fall asleep to the Real Housewives. And I'm not asking you to watch them. So no, I don't. Right. So he's like, well, I think I'll just go record one of the episodes to see what it's about.
Right.
We don't have the channel. So
what's the channel?
I don't know. It's like one of TBS's spinoffs or something, or TNT. I really don't know what the channel is, but we don't have it. So he'd have to subscribe.
Oh.
So I'm like, sorry, Charlie, but
so
it is.
Spell that again. MILF.
MILF.
Okay, MILF. Okay.
Manor.
MILF. Okay.
Yeah. And he just thinks it would be a really interesting show to watch. But he is too cheap to buy it. Like he's not that interested that he would spend the money on it. But you know what? It is Valentine's Day. And maybe he would like a gift from me. And he could watch MILF Manor. I would buy him the season.
I actually have it's on Discovery Plus.
Okay.
Hot single moms hunt for love, but shocking twist upends everything.
It's probably like all their sons are coming in. So that's just weird.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, I don't know that's what the surprising twist is, but that's what my thought is, because how awkward would that be?
Yeah, well, now I'm going to have to watch it. You can ask me about it at our next podcast, because I'm going to have to watch it to find out what it is.
Well, I'm going to hold you to that. And I'm also going to hold you to giving me something to sip on for the week.
I can give you something. Okay, so I have 2 quotes. One is from a greeting card, and it's just funny. And one is something to think about. So do you want me to end with the funny one or the one to think about?
How about you end with the one to think about and start with the funny one?
Okay. The funny one is, why is my mother looking back at me in the mirror?
I like that one. I can relate to that one. It's not even funny because sometimes I think I'm lucky to see my mom in the mirror because she's beautiful, but I'm like, I'm my mom's age. Or what I remember my mom being like when my kids were born.
Exactly. And I think that's a topic that we will explore in a future segment.
Yeah, maybe that's a teaser of what's going to be in the next episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Not that we've decided yet, but maybe it is.
Okay. And then my quote, something to sip on this week, of course, comes from one of my idols of all time, which would be Coco Chanel. Coco Chanel said a girl should be 2 things, who and what she wants.
Okay. I like it. And that is definitely something to sip on until next week. So cheers.
Cheers.